Sun, sand and sea is what you think of when you think of the Lakshadweep Islands. But these days, hashtags like Save Lakshadweep, Lakshadweep needs your attention and Fight for Lakshadweep are trending. So if you've been wondering why suddenly the sleepy, tiny group of islands barely inhabited by 60 to 70,000 people is protesting, well, then this explainer is for you, and I'm Sumita Karir. At the heart of the problem is the alleged misgovernance and introduction of arbitrary policies by this man, the administrator of the islands, Praful Khoda Patel. Now that has prompted many politicians to write to the Prime Minister of India, in fact the President also, saying that the rules have an ulterior motive to destroy the island's traditional life. Now 2 days back, Home Minister Amit Shah said that no changes will be done without taking people into confidence. So what policies are we talking about that has led to this outcry? Well, Praful Khoda Patel has introduced sweeping changes in the state, allegedly without consultation with elected representatives. Number 1, beef ban. Now, beef ban allows for a ban on the slaughter of cows, bulls and bullocks, but Lakshadweep is traditionally beef eating. In fact, according to an NSSO survey, it tops in beef eating. Number 2, allowing functioning of liquor bars. Now, the government says that allowing liquor will give a push to tourism, but then Lakshadweep is Muslim majority and the islands are non-alcoholic zones. For now, alcohol consumption was available only at Bangaram, an island hugely popular with tourists. Number 3, Gunda Act, or the Prevention of Anti-Social Activities Regulation Bill 2021. This is pretty much like the UAPA, which gives blanket powers to the government to detain a person for up to a year. And Patel says that there's nothing wrong in having a law against criminal anti-social activities. But one look at the stats and you'll know that Lakshadweep has zero crime rate. Next up, the developmental agenda. Well, this gives sweeping powers to the administration to take over anyone's private property for development purposes. Now, Patel says that he wants to build a smart city model there, but critics on the other side claim that this puts the islanders at the risk of eviction from their own homes. Moreover, the archipelago is made up of 36 islands and its entire surface area is only 32 square kilometers. Rampant and unchecked construction could very well eventually lead to threatening the ecological balance of the islands. Next up, two-child policy. Now, locals are panicked about this policy too, according to which a member of a panchayat can be disqualified if he has more than 2 kids. Well, if that were the case, then most politicians in our country would be disqualified already. Plus, the population of the archipelago is just between 65,000 to 70,000 people. COVID protocols. Now, Lakshadweep has gone from reporting 0 COVID cases on all of 2020 to more than 6,500 cases on 25th May 2021. Opposition leaders suggest that the spike was due to a change in the standard operating procedure, the SOP. So earlier, COVID protocols required strict quarantine of anybody who were entering the island for 14 days. But Patel diluted these norms, saying that an RT-PCR negative test is enough for entering the islands. In fact, he also attributes the case spike to a spike in Kerala that has strong links with Lakshadweep. Now, because of these regulations, many casual and contract workers have allegedly lost their jobs due to the changing rules on the land. In fact, if you remember, this video went viral as well. Sheds where fishermen used to keep their nets were demolished. The temporary buildings given to them are being demolished as well. According to Mohammad Faisal, the current MP, these laws give unchecked powers to the administrator and interfere with an islander's rights.
Our request with the Home Ministry is that all this anti-people draft notification should be scrapped and immediately such administrators should be recalled.
BJP members and politicians from Kerala with traditionally close ties to the islands too have come forward for the cause. You must be wondering, who's this man, who's this politician behind these sweeping changes? So let's also first understand Lakshadweep's administration, and then I'll go to explaining you who is Praful Khoda Patel. Now, Lakshadweep Islands are a union territory, which basically means that they cannot have a legislative assembly. They cannot have a chief minister like other states do. So governance happens on 3 levels. An elected MP in Lok Sabha, currently there is Mohammad Faisal from the NCP. Number 2, local self-governance happens via panchayats, and then there's an administrator who's appointed by the President of India. Now this person manages the overall day-to-day governance of the islands, so in a way it's directly controlled by the centre. So before Praful Khoda Patel, the island's administrator was Dineshwar Sharma, an IPS officer. Unfortunately, he passed away in December 2020, and in came Praful Khoda Patel, who was also served as the Home Minister of Gujarat when Prime Minister Modi was the CM of the state. Usually, administrative power in UTs or Union Territories is given to a bureaucrat, an IAS or an IPS officer. But Patel is a politician. In fact, he was also in the news for driving a sitting MP to death by suicide. Now let's understand what Praful Patel has to say. So overall, Patel's defense centers around making Lakshadweep the Maldives of India. The tribals will benefit, women and poor should benefit, and hence they should not be anti-development, is what his stance is. But think about it, you'd also freak out if you lived under the fear of being evicted from your house anytime. Plus, a dialogue sustains a democracy, and all of these rules allegedly have been passed without consultation with the locals. Until now, the smallest union territory of India had been managing just fine. One of the lowest crime rates, second lowest poverty rate, 90% of land under forests. So what was the need of bringing these sweeping changes? Will Praful Patel budge? Why is BJP suddenly interested in Lakshadweep? Now these are some of the questions we're still seeking answers to. So let me know what you think of these questions that I just mentioned in the comment section below. This is Sumita Karir signing off.